morning. My name is Hayden Wells.
And my name is Lyles Dockery.
Thank you for joining us for our fourth and final broadcast for the 2019 Youth in Government Conference. As the conference wraps up, before we get to the news, let's check the weather.
Today we will see cloudy skies with a high of 73 degrees and a low of 48 degrees. Be aware that there is a 40% chance of thunderstorms as we leave the conference, so make sure to bring a coat or an umbrella.
Thank you, Lyles. Now we have interviews with our Yig Bowl teams.
Okay, so what are you guys' names and what school do you go to?
Matthew Blessington, Brentwood High School.
Derek Chan, Brentwood High School.
Alright, and what did you guys do to prepare for Yig Bowl?
So the night before the bowl, I got on my laptop and I went on Wikipedia and they have like a random articles tab, so I just click it, read a bit, 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 click it, read a bit. And I did that about like maybe 300 times just to get everything I need to know down. That's how I got the question right about that, the famous American artist who wrote rap songs such as like Soulja Boy, Tell 'Em, and such like that. I clicked on random article, Soulja Boy popped up. I was like, I've never heard of this guy before. I read his whole page, and I listened to some of his songs. And then next thing you know, they had a question about him. So it's just like all very cool.
Awesome. And what would you guys say is your area of expertise?
Honestly, I have no clue what I'm doing on a Yig Bowl team. I made this team last second, and I know very little about anything in this world. If there is anything that I know of, I don't have anything. I'm sorry.
I would say my strengths are history, geography, math, science, chemistry, physics, English, music, American history, European history, world history, computer science, pop culture, American pop culture, British pop culture.
Wow, it sounds like you've really got it down. And who would you guys say is y'all's fiercest competitor?
I would say ourselves. Like a lot of the problems we face is just like decision within our own team. Like, hey, am I smart enough to answer this question? I want to get this question right, but I don't want my partners next to me to like stare at me down. Like that's what happened last time. I got a question wrong, and like my entire team just like spanked me. It was horrible. I was like,
honestly, you guys, I know this game is hard and tough. You got to look up to the bright side. We had fun and we competed hard.
But also it's double elimination.
We're coming back
harder tomorrow.
Aren't we playing you guys?
We're playing our team.
You're on our team.
Okay, thank you guys.
Of course.
Okay, introduce yourselves. What are your names and what school do you go to?
Andrew.
Kellen.
Will.
Garrett.
CBHS.
So what do you guys do to prepare for Yig Bowl?
I don't know that we did anything.
Show up.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
Got dressed, maybe.
And what would you say is your area of expertise?
National parks.
Literature and pop culture.
Rachmaninoff.
Science.
Perfect. And who do you guys think is your fiercest competitor? Like what other team?
I think.
Whatever team Ricky Rodriguez is on, honestly.
Yeah, he's for sure our toughest competitor, I think. I don't know how he knows the stuff that he knows.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the insight into the Yig Bowl. Good luck to all the competitors.
We all have role models in our life, whether it be a friend, relative, or somebody we admire. These people influence our life choices. My personal role model is my stepmom because she has always been positive and she's a good Christian woman that I look up to. Hayden, who's your role model?
My role model is probably also my mom. She's always been there, as a parent. She's played a big role in my life. Now here are some of our delegates' role models.
Who is your role model and why?
My role model would be my mom because she always tries to help me be a better self and she's always done everything she could to provide for me and my brother, and I think that's the best version of a role model I could ever be.
Well, one of my role models is my soccer coach because he doesn't get paid at all and spends a bunch of his time out with us, training us and getting us through different problems and stuff that we have. And so I have a lot of respect for him just because he does it in his own time and really cares about us and stuff.
I'd say my role model is my dad because he's really hardworking, and he cares about our family and takes care of us, and we just have fun with him and have a good time.
Alright, so I have 2 role models. Number 1 is my dad, because he's taught me everything I know. He's a great, honorable man. And my second is definitely Susan, because she runs this conference really well. And she's a wonderful woman. Alright.
My role model would probably be Amal Clooney because I really admire the work she does with human rights law internationally, and I think she's very poised and very intelligent, and I think she's good at getting her point across without being too extreme about it, and I think she's a great role model for young women everywhere.
My 2 role models are both graduates of my high school from that attend the United States Naval Academy and will serve our nation in the future. The first one is Zach Jenner. He's an All-American lacrosse player at Navy. Even though he's consistently the best player on the field, he was always a servant leader first and would always go out of his way to help others. He's an exceptional leader and young man who I try to model my life after. My second role model is David Boyd. He also attends the United States Naval Academy, and he was a triathlete and captain of our cross-country team. He really built strong relationships with freshmen and really wanted to get to know us on a personal level and really would go out of his way to help others out however he could. And these are both great leaders and we're also great servants that I try to model my life after.
Those are all great role models. If it wasn't for these people, some of us probably wouldn't be here where we are now.
With such a variety of bills discussed at YIG, it is easy for anyone to find a bill that speaks to them or gets them excited. Here are some delegates discussing what their favorite bill is.
I believe my favorite bill is a bill that is taking the ratio of nurses to students from 3,000 per one student to 1,500 per student.
Why is it your favorite?
I think it's really important that all of our students have the proper health care that they need, and implementing more nurses per student will make sure that everybody's accounted for and safe and healthy, and also take some of the pressure off of the school nurses.
Do you think it's going to pass?
I do. I think that it has a really good chance, and there's a lot of great research, and the sponsors are really great debaters.
So what's your favorite bill?
I really like the Blue House bill about giving tenants 30-day notice before evicting them.
Why is it your favorite?
Okay, so sometimes the tenants are paying their rent and the homeowners that they're renting the house from don't use the rent and pay it to the bank, just, pay their mortgage payments to the bank, so the tenants have no idea that they're going to be evicted. So this would allow the tenants and the homeowners to both be notified instead of just the homeowners.
Do you think the bill's going to pass?
Yes, I do.
So what's your favorite bill?
My favorite bill so far would have to be this bill where it requires nets on sewage drains, which just helps the environment. It takes a lot of the pollution that gets into our water out, and it also helps the animals and bunnies and stuff just from falling and having unnecessary deaths.
Why is that your favorite?
It just felt like it really resonated with me. I just thought it's such a good cause that this should be enacted in our actual legislation.
Do you think it's going to pass?
Yes, I hope it does.
And my favorite bill is probably White Senate Bill 4-4 by Edward Lee and Peter. Basically, it's about changing mother and father to parent 1 and parent 2 on all school documents. And I really like it because I think it's a simple step that makes schools more inclusive, and it would just help a lot of people feel more welcome and comfortable in schools and with their documents. It's actually already passed White Senate, which I'm at, and I hope and look forward to it passing the White House.
Thank you, delegates. Those are some very interesting bills. YIG is a great place to make new friends. The conference allows delegates to debate their ideas while also having a great time in Nashville. Here's stories of friendships that started at YIG.
Hi, I'm Georgia Barton. We're interviewing people who became friends through YIG. Today I'm here with Karis and Owen. So how'd you become friends?
Okay, so we were both in press together last year. He was with another guy from St. George's, and we were from St. Agnes, and that's only to Memphis, people in press. So we were automatically you're from Memphis, right?
Got us in with Memphis people.
Yeah. And I don't know, we just we're talking and just oh, Memphis, what's up?
Yeah.
And then we went to lunch together. I had another St. Agnes friend here, and we just kept in touch. We also had a group chat, so
Nice.
Pretty awesome.
Welcome back to Friendships Made Through YIG. I'm here with Ellie and Tyler. How did you become friends?
Well, we did youth and government at the same time in high school. We weren't in the same conferences though.
So we never talked to each other.
Never talked. But then we both went to the conference on national affairs and dinner the first night at Kona. We sat down and got to talking, and Tyler told me a story about how he barfed.
And we have been best friends ever since.
Ever since, yes.
Right? Those were great stories, delegates. Thank you.
Well, with that, we'll conclude our broadcast. Thanks for everyone who tuned in for the news every day during this conference.
Thanks again, and we hope to see you next year.